Hello everyone, this is Dr. Devin Miles. Today I want to talk about mistakes. I had put a post up earlier basically giving you guys a mantra about how to handle mistakes. Some people, they make a mistake and then they just move on. Other people, they really take those mistakes to heart. And so the mantra had to do with I am human, and thus I make mistakes. Sometimes they're big, sometimes they're small, sometimes they're short, sometimes they're long. I am human. And so I think it's important to remember that you are human, you are allowed to make mistakes because you're imperfect, right? And I say that because for some people who are particularly like perfectionists, are very hard on themselves, the amount of guilt and stress that they feel when they make a mistake is very, very tough, to say the least. So the other thing that I thought about after I posted that was the idea of repeated mistakes. So most of you have probably heard the quote, the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over and over again. And so I started to think about what insanity means. And before that quote came out, insanity had a whole different definition. So I looked up what insanity meant, because I'm like, is this really in the dictionary or not? So the first one I went to is Oxford Dictionaries on Instagram. And the first definition is the state of being seriously mental ill, madness. Synonyms: mental illness, mental disorder, mental derangement, madness, dementia, lunacy, instability, psychosis. That is the first definition. So I'm like, okay, well, I'm on the internet. I don't have, a paperback dictionary for myself right now. So let's go to another dictionary. And now I'm on Merriam-Webster. So I used to have like a paperback Webster dictionary. So here we go. Number one definition: a severely disordered state of the mind, usually occurring as a specific disorder. Number two, unsoundness of mind or lack of the ability to understand that prevents one from having the mental capacity required by law to enter into a particular relationship, status, transaction, or that releases one from criminal or civil responsibility. 3, extreme folly or unreasonableness, something utterly foolish or unreasonable. So I went to another dictionary, and that was dictionary.com. And so, number 1, the condition of being insane, a derangement of the mind. Number 2, such unsoundness of mind as frees one from legal responsibility as for committing a crime, or as signals one's lack of legal capacity as for entering into a contractual agreement. 3, psychosis. 4, extreme foolishness, folly, senselessness, foolhardiness. That was 4A. 4B is a foolish or senseless action, policy, statement, etc. So that's 3 dictionaries that I looked for the definition of insanity. And so I did not find the definition that has been popularized, which is the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again. I'm not saying that that's not a definition, but that's not the first thing that comes up. And so if you're someone who is hard on yourself when you make mistakes, and then you hear something like this going around, the definition of insanity is making the same mistakes over and over again. And reality is there's a lot of human beings who make repeated mistakes. I don't consider you insane if you make the same mistake over and over again. I understand that we are to learn from our mistakes, but reality is if you make the same mistake again and again and again, maybe it takes you that many times to finally evolve through that mistake. So I think sometimes when we make repeated mistakes, it is a method within life that helps us to finally get past something or evolve in some way through making that same mistake over and over again. I don't always see that repeating of a mistake as that something's wrong with you or that you're stupid, or that you're insane. Because yeah, as I mentioned, when I was growing up, insane meant more of these types of definitions that I've just read from 3 different dictionaries. So yes, try as best as you can every time you make a mistake to learn from it. And I'm a doctor who focuses on natural medicine and natural solutions for prevention, gastrointestinal disorders, and kidney disease. And so I work with my clients a lot on diet. And so when I'm starting to change their diets, a lot of times when they first start, they might fall off for a little bit and get back on. And the thing that I'm always telling them is learn from it every single time. What could have been different? What could you have put in place so that this mistake or this falling off that happened this time won't happen next time? So maybe it's something like you're in the middle of driving and you're to and fro and you just need a snack, and you go and grab something that you really shouldn't be eating that's great for your health, right? What could have been different that time? Well, maybe you could have brought something with you, right? Or you're someone who doesn't eat until like 6 o'clock at night, and so when you finally do start to eat, then it's, oh, just eat as much as you possibly can and then go to sleep. And it's just all the wrong stuff, right? So in that situation, if you're trying to make a change and you still have that same habit, then I could say something like, well, maybe you should consider eating earlier. And so by the time 6 o'clock happens, or 7 o'clock, whenever you decide to eat dinner, you're not starving. And so the choices that you will make will be smarter choices versus if you're in just, this very intense hunger mode. You're not going to necessarily care all the time as much as you would about what's on your plate. You're just wanting to eat like as fast as possible. And so that's where mistakes can help us to learn, right? But if you make the same mistake over and over again, just learn from it as much as you can. Soak up as much as you can from that mistake every single time. So anyway, that's my thing for today. People do make mistakes. You can forgive yourself. The definition, as I mentioned before, of insanity, the definition that's being popularized right now about insanity is the act of doing the same thing over and over again. Again, as you saw, I read through 3 dictionaries and didn't find that, all the way to number 4 in the dictionary. So, not saying it's not there. However, at the same time, don't get caught up in that. Especially if you're somebody who's already hard on yourself and then you're hearing people say this, I can imagine that it makes you maybe sometimes feel worse. And I don't think you're insane if you make the same mistake. Just try to learn from it, evolve as you continue to possibly make the same mistake. We are humans. We can make the same mistakes over and over again, but as much as you can, try to evolve with it. So again, my name is Dr. Devin Miles. I do telehealth consultations, and I provide natural solutions in the areas of gastrointestinal disorders, prevention, and kidney disease. And you can reach me at drdevinmiles.com. Devin is spelled with an I, or calling 281-231-2811. All right, guys. You have a great Saturday. Get some relaxation in. Maybe go outside, even though it's cloudy here, but it's fine. All right. Have a good one. Bye.